Coming up on The Last Call, we're less than 24 hours away from the National Championship Part 3 between Clemson and Alabama. You'll hear from both sides on how they're feeling heading into this game and what storylines you should know before kickoff. Plus, Georgia was the team getting ready for this game against Bama last year, but this year they had to settle for a loss in the Sugar Bowl. We take a look back at Georgia's disappointing showing against Texas. It's all on The Last Call, and it starts right now. Welcome back to The Last Call. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. Normally we use this show to take a look back at the week that was, and we'll do that. But first, we start by looking ahead at the national championship. Let's keep an eye on the future. Like I said, we're less than 24 hours away from the national championship between Clemson and Alabama. If this was Star Wars, it would be something like this. Episode 4, The Saga of the Tide and Tigers. We'll workshop that. A rematch is always anticipated to see if the loser can turn to a victor. But what if the rematch is happening for a 4th straight year? For more, we turn to Chris Brees from our sister station at WIAT.
So the big dilemma around college football sweeping the country is 3 out of 4 years, Alabama and Clemson. Is this bad for football, and is this sport getting boring for everybody else? Well, today at the press conference, the final one, these coaches said, if you don't like it, just beat us.
I'm not going to apologize for having a great team and a great program and a bunch of committed guys, and Coach Saban's not either. I think the objective is to get the 2 best teams. That's kind of the way it is, and if that's not best for college football, and why did we even do it?
It's my job and my responsibility to do the best job that we can for, our team, our players, our program in terms of what it takes for us to be successful. And I guess that's what we'll, continue to focus on.
For Coach Dabo, the 3rd time is a charm. The 2018 season has been more enjoyable than the last 2 for him. But what about the players?
And I do think that they have enjoyed the journey. I think this senior group has savored every moment along the way. They haven't looked ahead. We've been incredibly consistent. So I don't have any doubt that they will treasure their time.
Now, the only true way to show if this season really is different, Clemson's got to go out and beat the #1 team in the country, who a lot of people are saying is one of the best teams to ever play college football. In San Jose, Chris Brees, we'll go back to you in the studio.
In all of the press conferences this week, this year, and the past 10 years, you won't hear Nick Saban talk about his place in history. So I will. If Alabama wins this game tomorrow night, Saban will pick up his 7th national title, breaking the record of 6 currently held by the other Alabama legend, Bear Bryant. 6 will be the number of titles Saban has at Alabama if his team wins tomorrow, and since he started 12 years ago, that means he gets fitted for a ring every other year.
Well, I think it's a little bit like climbing a mountain. Obviously it gets a little more treacherous when you get to the top. We start at the bottom. You're pushing a boulder up the mountain. And every year you got to start over. Sometimes when you do it consistently, you become the mountain a little bit, because everybody's always playing their best game against you and looking forward to playing you. And that makes it a little tougher for the players, I think.
So we know Saban plays for titles, but we may have never have gotten to know that or see that for Dabo Swinney, because 12 years ago, when Saban started at Alabama, he offered Dabo a coaching job, which he turned down. How do you turn down Old St. Nick?
I don't think we got off to a very good start because, he offered me a job when he first came to Alabama, and but I didn't know him, and I didn't take the job, and so I don't know that we got off to a good start there.
Swinney was a receiver on Alabama's 1992 championship team, and his coaching career began in Tuscaloosa as a wide receiver and tight end coach in 2001. And while we're talking about the past, let's run it back. Okay, so plenty of people question how motivated Georgia would be in the Sugar Bowl. The Dogs were so close to being in the college football playoff, so the feeling was this game might just be a consolation prize for the 5th-ranked Dogs. Georgia taking the field in New Orleans, where they won their last national championship in 1980. First drive for Texas, first score. Sam Ehlinger, 2-yard tutty. It's 7-0. Georgia turned it over on downs on their first drive, and now they just plain turn it over. DeAndre Swift loses the football, and the Longhorns recover at the 10-yard line. That leads to this. Ehlinger, a 9-yard scramble, makes it a 17-0 game on the first play of the second quarter. Not what anybody expected. Georgia finally breaks through on the next possession. Jake Fromm to Brian Herring. That's going to go 17 yards for the score, and it's 17-7 Dogs within striking distance. Texas adds a field goal. Georgia trying to add another one before the half, but Fromm is sacked by Russell Hine. It's 20-7 at the half. First Georgia drive, maybe they can get something going, and this is not going to do it. He's trying to find some time, but Fromm is picked off by P.J. Locke. He takes it 22 yards to the 39-yard line, and Georgia just looks absolutely terrible, maybe not even motivated, too. Last play of the third quarter, 4th and goal from the 1. Ehlinger, he's in his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. Georgia tried to fight back, but yeah, a lot of Dog fans had that reaction as they fall 28-21 in the Big Easy. So the bowl didn't go Georgia's way, and we should have known when this happened. In the pregame, the Texas Longhorn mascot Bevo tried to spear Uga. The meeting was planned, but clearly did not go as expected. What did you think when you put an animal wearing red in front of another animal with massive horns? All right, for more on this game, we turn to former sports director at our sister station, Brendan Robertson at WJBF.
It started off bad from the beginning for the Georgia Bulldogs when the Texas mascot Bevo went after little Uga in the pregame photo opportunity.
Oh, my Lord!
And it didn't get any better. Georgia falling behind 17-0, failing to score in the first half for the first time since their loss to LSU, and dropping back-to-back games for the first time since October of 2016 with their 28-21 loss to Texas here in the Sugar Bowl.
We got outplayed. They came ready like they were playing for something, and we didn't. They came to play, we didn't, period.
We just didn't play well as a team. You know, I had mistakes too, and you know, it's just the team lost. Just like when the team wins, the team wins, and when the team loses, the team loses.
We came out, got our physical, and they won the game. I don't think it was a lack of focus.
Well, I hope they learn that you better show up to play every game, because the teams that you're playing at the end of the year are all capable of topping you.
The powerful Georgia offense held in check by the Texas defense. Georgia finishing with just 177 total yards, only 72 on the ground. Shocking for a team with 2 1,000-yard rushers.
Yeah, we couldn't get it going, and we kind of got behind, so we couldn't run the ball as much and had to move away to, you know, pass, and we just couldn't hit our big plays.
But I just think, you know, at the beginning, they game planned really well. They showed us what that game plan was, you know, in those first couple of drives, but we just couldn't make adjustments quick enough.
It's certainly not the way Georgia seniors like Terry Godwin and Natrez Patrick expected or hoped to finish their careers in Athens.
And they've bought into what this staff has wanted to do. They've led, they've done the hard things, and they've won a lot of football games.
The foundation has been laid. I feel like the seniors did a great job of laying that foundation when Kirby first got here and doing things, and I feel like it's just time for the rest of the team to carry on that.
The culture of Georgia is becoming something greater than it ever was, and I think it'll continue to do that way beyond when I'm going. But I was the start of it. And that's big for me.
So what's next for Georgia? Well, they'll look ahead to spring practice and, of course, graduate some seniors like Terry Godwin. And we'll see what the future holds for Justin Fields and his future in Athens.
And we found out what that future was just a few days ago. Usually when there's smoke, there's fire, and there was plenty of warning signs that Justin Fields was going to pull the plug on his time in Athens. From his limited playing time to seeing his name pop up on the NCAA transfer pool a few weeks ago, we knew a change was coming, and now we know that decision will take him to Ohio State. All right, since he would usually have to sit out because he played more than 4 games, but he will likely seek a transfer waiver to play next year, he has a good chance of winning that appeal because the incident involving former Georgia baseball player Adam Sasser, who shouted racist comments about Fields during the Tennessee game. The Buckeyes lost head coach Urban Meyer to retirement, but the new head man Ryan Day is getting Fields, who came to Georgia as the #2 overall recruit last year. Current OSU QB Dwayne Haskins is likely heading to the NFL, so Fields will battle with Tate Martell for the starting job next year. And sticking with the Bulldogs, a trio of players won't be back in Athens either. Junior tight end Isaac Nauta, junior wideout Riley Ridley, and junior running back Mecole Hardman will all forego their senior season and enter the NFL draft. Riley Ridley is the little brother of current Atlanta Falcons standout Calvin Ridley. At Georgia, Riley racked up over 1,000 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns. Nauta, the tight end, had 8 touchdowns, more than 900 yards receiving during his time. And finally, Hardman was a lightning bolt for the Dogs. He returned kicks, was an offensive explosive option at wideout, and he also had over 1,000 all-purpose yards and 13 touchdowns in his career. More players declaring included Auburn's Darius Slayton, who decided to forego his senior year. This year, Slayton had 35 catches and led the team with 670 receiving yards. In his career, he racked up more than 1,600 yards, 79 catches, and 11 tutties. And rounding out the football news, a former Dog is heading to the Fountain City. Trent Thompson, who played 3 years at Georgia, agreed to terms with the Columbus Lions this week for the 2019 season. Thompson is now the 7th defensive player from the SEC to join the Lions, who have lost the championship 2 years in a row. Still to come on The Last Call, Alabama has lost to Kentucky 10 years in a row, but yesterday they pulled off the upset. See how the Tide got it done against the 13th ranked Wildcats. Plus, we've got a full slate of high school games from this past week, including a rematch between Lafayette and Lynette after the Bulldogs won the first matchup by double digits. That's coming up. The most important game for Alabama is happening tomorrow. Of course, I'm talking about the national championship against Clemson, but before that, the Tide basketball team had its own important test yesterday. Bama hosting number 13 Kentucky, a team the Tide has lost to 10 games in a row. Dazon Ingram finds Dante Hall and one. How about that for the first play of the game? Alabama led by 2 at half. Bama down 1. Kira Lewis Jr. up ahead to Herbert Jones for the throwdown. Tied back up. They're rolling now. They're up by 9, 3:15 to go. Lewis's shot won't go, but Hall is there to clean it up and give Alabama a double-digit lead. UK pulls within 5. Less than 30 seconds left. Ashton Hagens works his way for the bucket. It's a one-possession game. Alabama just need to make your free throws. But no, you can't do this. They turn it over, and it leads to a UK dunk. So we've got a one-point game. John Petty makes 1 of 2 free throws, so 5 seconds left. UK has a chance to win it. Tyler Harrow, could he be the hero? No, the shot is off. Alabama holds on to beat Kentucky for the first time since, get this, 2013.
This was a huge win for us. We talked a lot about it behind the scenes. We didn't let you in on it, but we needed to beat Kentucky. We didn't win the championship. We haven't won another game. We haven't played another SEC game yet. But this was huge for our program.
How about that to start SEC play? Up next for the Tide, they are away at LSU. So that was the start of SEC play for Alabama, and here's what's coming for Auburn. On Wednesday, the Tigers travel to face Ole Miss, and then they're back at home on Saturday to host Georgia at 4 Eastern. In that game, they will also remember the 1999 team, the last team to win an SEC title before last year's team was able to accomplish that feat. All right, then the boys took the court. We've got the Bulldogs of Lafayette. They beat the Panthers of Lynette by 13 back in mid-December. We've got Tiston Dobbs out to Christian Story. Bang! But Story called for a tech for taunting the bench. Both teams got a tech in the first half, 23-23. Lafayette retakes the lead, 25-24 after this jumper from Artavius Burton. Then Lynette, they had the height advantage all game. Cameron Boozer, he used it. Panthers led by 2 at half. It was all Lynette in the third. Up ahead to Jayshawn Burton and one. The ball rolls in. And then Story going to get it to Jordan Wallace, who dishes it to Boozer for the slam. Panthers outscored the Dogs 25-12 in the third quarter. Early in the fourth, Boozer sends it back to Lafayette. Story saves it from going out. Trey Abner finds Quay Houston, and we've got liftoff. Lynette wins 67-59, avenging their loss back in December.
Hey, I can't say enough for it, man. I'm just happy tonight that we did what we needed to do, because it had been said that we wouldn't beat them. We wouldn't beat Lafayette this year. But we came out and the kids showed them, hey, let's show what we made out of it.
Sure did. All right, Lynette girls were hosting Lafayette as well. We go to under 5 minutes left in the game. It was a very tight game. The crowd was fired up, getting ready for the boys, but this was good too. Tied at 33. We've got a bucket right here from Falia Greer to give the Bulldogs a lead. And then we have a fake shot by Madden to Sprayberry. We're tied again at 35. Madden gives it herself this time, keeps it for herself, excuse me. Lynette has the lead by 2 with 1 minute left. Greer knocks down a pair of free throws to tie it, and with 5 seconds left, Nadia Hurd hits the first, and then she nails the second, so the Bulldogs beat the Panthers 40-38. Back to the fellas. Red Devils on the road against Smith Station on Friday night. Central already a good team this year at 11-3. They're in a groove. Trayman Porter, money from three. The Red Devils are up 11-1 early in the first, but the Panthers found their way back in a little bit. We've got Cooper fighting through the Devils to get a bucket, and it's 13-5, 4:30 left in the second. Devils break the Panthers' trap. They find Tremere Brown down low. The big fellow with no regard for human life. Devils dominate this game, winning 77-33. All right, we're sticking with high school hoops. Central was hosting Shaw last night after their win over the Panthers. Dylan Harris kicks it out to Rod Winfrey, winning. Shaw cuts the Central lead to 2. Just before the half, Marquez Henry to Radarius Hinnett to Tremere Brown for the throwdown. Red Devils led by 5 at half. Third quarter belonged to Central. Tremaine Porter, hard take, no foul call, but it goes in. Central up 12. Just before the horn, Brown swats this one back to Columbus. Red Devils went on an 18-4 run in the third at one point. In the fourth, Devontae Matthew making people look silly. Scoopity-whoop for the hoop, and Central wins 62-46. All right, we're still serving on the last call, and coming up, we take a look back at the programs for Columbus State as they get ready for the new year, and you're going to hear from both coaches after the break. The Columbus State women's basketball team ended 2018 with back-to-back wins, and they're close to having 2 players join the 1,000-point club in the same season. Tatum Jarvis actually accomplished that feat, scoring her 1,000th point in a home game against UNC Pembroke on December 17th. Meanwhile, Tatiana Wayne is knocking on the door with more than 800 career points, and head coach Nina Howard knows just how special it is to have both scorers on her side.
It was definitely an exciting moment. It was surreal. It was a goal of mine since my freshman year, so I've been working towards that, and I'm happy I was able to accomplish that. It's exciting when you have your teammates also accomplishing great things, so I'm happy for her, and she's going to get that.
I was very happy for Tatum. It was her senior year. She got her 1,000th point. Everybody was cheering for her. I'm pretty sure she felt good inside, too.
This is my second time having 2 players in one season. 2 years ago at Columbus State, we had Ashley Zuzu and Brittany Tatum also scored her 1,000 points. So it's just a great feeling as a head coach to be a part of that moment for those players.
As for the CSU men's basketball team, they're dealing with some big changes, specifically to their roster. Around the 6th or 7th game, head coach Robert Moore said a pair of players decided to transfer away from Columbus State because they weren't happy with their playing time. But the sudden roster changes are forcing Columbus State to field a brand new starting 5 in the middle of the season. Now the Cougars did get some help down low. 6'10" Xavier Williams joins the Cougars from Robert Morris University. Even with the shuffled lineup, the Cougars say it has not distracted them from their ultimate goal.
The big thing in college basketball now is 500 guys transferred in Division I last year. So it's going to happen, but I just tell my guys, you have to believe in each other and believe in the guy that's next to you in the locker room. And if you keep that belief and keep team first and CSU first, good things going to happen.
It didn't affect us too much. It was just, we just had to take time. It just takes time to gel when you get a whole new 5 and, a whole new team together. But we're coming way better together this year and ready to win this championship. Coach said, well, 2019 New Year's Revolution, no more losses. So we're just ready to go get this win.
It didn't go that way in their first game of 2019. Sorry, fellas. They lost 108-81 against USC Aiken. Meanwhile, the girls, they had a close game against the Pacers as well, but they fell by 10 points, 72-62. All right, we're still serving on the last call, and next we've got picks of the week after a holiday break, and we're doing things just a little bit different this week. Stick around for the change.
What's up and what's good, everybody? Jack Patterson on vacation in beautiful downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm currently here at the Vault. It's a retro sports shop that has memorabilia from every sport and every team you can just about think of. MLB, NBA, college, pros, you name it, they have it. So it's a really awesome place. If you're ever in Greenville, I highly encourage you to go check it out. Now, over to my picks of the week this week. I have the AFC and NFC championship games. Hopefully the Chargers don't mess us up. I'm taping this Sunday morning. Chargers and Chiefs in the AFC. In the NFC, I'll take the Bears and the Saints. My personal pick will be the Nashville Predators to go to Toronto against the Maple Leafs, and they'll get the win on the road. Big game between 2 of the top teams in the NHL. So I'm coming back to Columbus. I'll see you guys next week back on the desk on the last call. But till then, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my vacation. Send things back over to you at the desk, Justin.
A much-deserved vacation. The Chargers did not mess it up, but the Bears did. They lost on a game-winning field goal that was no good. All right, for my AFC Championship matchup, I'm going to take the Chargers and the Chiefs, so a battle of the AFC West in the title game. As for the NFC, give me the Saints hosting the Rams once again. And for my personal pick, I'll take Alabama to beat Clemson in tomorrow night's national championship game. We've also got picks for Rex and Connor. We will start with Connor. He's got the Saints and the Rams as well in the NFC Championship. And over in the AFC, he's taken the Patriots to face the Chiefs in Kansas City. And for his personal pick, he's got the AFC winning the Pro Bowl. I didn't know people still watch that. As for Rex, he's a Texans fan. He sent his pick early. He took the Texans against the Patriots, but obviously that won't be happening. Still a chance in the NFC because the Rams against the Saints is his personal. And then for his personal, he goes back to Houston, and this time in the NBA, he's taken the Rockets over the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, still to come on the last call, we've got the thing that you have to see this week, and it's really probably the most inspirational thing of all of 2018. Tonight we end the show with what I think is the most inspirational sports story of 2018. On New Year's Day, Purdue superfan Tyler Trent passed away at the age of 20 from a rare form of bone cancer. Tyler inspired millions with his perseverance, gratitude, and positivity in the face of being diagnosed with terminal cancer. Just last Friday, Tyler was the honorary captain for the Music City Bowl between Auburn and his favorite team, Purdue. The team tweeted out a picture with the caption, "Forever our captain. His life has ended, but his legacy lives on."